Welcome to Axion Forge. In this video, we'll go over the basics of everything that you need to know to play your first game in just a few minutes. Don't worry about memorizing everything though. You'll pick up the details as you play, and you can always reference the rulebook. Players' battlefields are mirrored and line up head to head. Your goal is simple: either reduce your opponent's life force to 0, or collect trophies equal to the starting life force total. Most games are played to 25. Victory conditions are checked at the end of each turn, whether your life force reaches 0 or your trophy count reaches your starting life force. A great way to start is with ignition packs. Choose any 2 packs and combine them together to make one ready-to-play deck. Standard deck size is 50 cards, but ignition packs play a little bit differently. There's 3 main card types. First are sources. Sources build your economy, and you need them to pay for your other cards. Battlefield cards, which are things like creatures and spells, and catalyst cards, which is a single special card that you get to put into play at the very beginning of the game. Your arena is broken into 2 main sections: the battlefield, which are the 8 spaces in front, and the support zone, which is behind it. Your battlefield can be attacked by your enemies. Your support zone typically can't. The support zone is where you play your source cards to power the rest of the cards on your battlefield. Your catalyst card starts the game in play in a special space outside of both. This card typically can't be targeted, but it gives you special powers and abilities for the entire game. When you put your catalyst into play at the start of the game, include the indicated number of energy counters in the left-hand corner. These counters can be spent on catalyst-specific abilities. Battlefield cards are placed onto your 8 spaces. You can tell where a card can be played based off of its position diagram in the center of the card. Green positions are initial. That's where you can initially play your card to. Gray positions are neutral, which is where cards can be moved to after they've been deployed. Green initial positions are treated as neutral spaces after they're in play. Red positions are restricted, so your card can't move there, but if it's forced into one of those spaces, it goes back to your hand. Only cards that can be played to your battlefield will have position diagrams. Other cards, like sources, don't have a position diagram. This is because they're played to your support zone. Your catalyst card will have the catalyst icon in the center, and this is the only place it can be played to. Once you play a card, it becomes an asset. While catalyst cards are in play, they're not considered assets, and neither are cards that resolve as soon as you play them, like this quick strike. You'll start your game with your catalyst card in play and your deck off to the side. This is called your vault. Each turn has 3 phases. You'll finish your entire turn before passing to your opponent. During your start phase, the first thing you'll do is deactivate any of the cards on your side that you want deactivated. You'll resolve any start of turn effects, and then you'll draw a card. On your turn during your action phase, you have 3 actions to spend. Your 3 action points can be spent on a few different things. You can deploy or play a card, you can use an ability listed on the card, you can move a card around, you can return one to your hand, or you can draw a new one from your deck. You can also do a few free actions, which we'll discuss later. In Axion Forge, there are 4 resource types: shards, which are a universal resource that pay for almost every card in the game; cores and prisms, which are more rare advanced currencies needed for some of the most powerful cards and abilities; and axions, which are a special currency generated and used explicitly by Forge cards. There are 2 ways to get resources. First is by gaining them. Gaining resources adds them to your temporary resource pool, which resets at the end of each turn. To gain shards, use your source cards in your support zone. The other method is through generating resources. For example, this card can do both. When you generate a resource, you place a marker on the card itself. This counter is persistent and lasts in between turns, and you can spend it whenever you want. Shards can either be gained or generated, whereas the other currencies are explicitly generated as counters. The namesake of Axion Forge are Forge cards. Almost any card can also be a Forge. The Forge skill will give a number, which is its maximum Axion capacity, as well as a condition that's required to generate that Axion. Generated Axions can only be used by the card that they're stored on. So for example, at the start of your turn, you'll generate an Axion for this card, and then you can activate it to use its ability and discard that Axion to pay for it. To deploy a card, you'll have to pay its cost. To pay for this Rune Warden, look at its position chart to determine where it can be played and make sure that there's an open initial space. Let's use 4 of our sources. Activating these 4 cards gives us 4 shards in our resource pool, which is enough to pay for the card. Where you play your cards matters just as much as what you play. When a card enters, it's considered unstable and can't activate until the end of the turn. Other abilities that don't require activation, such as this card's power, can be used as soon as they're played. Face-up cards in the upright position can be used in almost any way. Activate a card means rotating at 90 degrees. Once a card has been activated, it can't be used again until it's been deactivated. You can also play cards face down. While inactive, cards ignore their printed stats and text, have 0 attack, 2 defense, and are worth 1 trophy. Doing this just costs a single shard. You ignore the rest of its cost. Choose an appropriate position on its diagram and place it into play face down. You can reinforce an inactive card without spending an action. After it's been in play for a turn, you can activate an inactive card to place a reinforced counter on it. The next time it takes damage, discard the counter and ignore that damage. At any point during your turn, you can flip it over to face up by paying its remaining cost. Since you've already paid 1 shard for it, this would just cost 2 more. Sometimes you won't be able to use all of the cards that are in play, so you have to be strategic about the action points that you use. Not every ability requires an action. The basic strike ability always does. If we look at our Catalyst card, it has 2 distinct abilities, neither of which list the action icon. That means this can be used without using an action. Cards have different targeting ranges indicated by arrows. Green arrows indicate melee range, while orange arrows indicate ranged targeting, which skips a row and targets 2 rows back. Looking at this wolf pup, it has a straightforward green melee range. Shadow Step Assassin, on the other hand, has both melee range and ranged targeting. That means it can attack this position with melee range, or skip a row and target 1 row back. Blue arrows on a card signify its guard range. These are the adjacent positions this card can guard for when being attacked. For this Rune Warden card, it can guard either to the left or to the right. Each card has a few numbers listed on them. In the very upper left-hand corner is its trophy value. These are the amount of trophy points that you earn when you destroy that card. While you can target and attack your own cards, you unfortunately don't earn any trophies from that. Below that is its shard cost. That's how much it costs to get it into play. In the red sword is its attack value, and below in the blue shield is its defense value. To use an ability, you have to pay that ability's cost. The strike ability is a basic attack that costs an action, and you have to activate the card. Only ready, normally oriented cards can activate. Once you can pay the cost, you have to determine a target that's within range. This card's targeting can target 3 different positions. There are creatures both straight ahead and back and to the left. However, there's no space back and to the right, so there's nothing there to target. To attack another card, pay for it and announce your target. To resolve a strike ability, you'll have to compare the attack value versus the defense value. This card's attack value and defense value are both 2. The card we're targeting has an attack value of 0 and a defense value of 1. Your card's attack value meets or exceeds the defense value, meaning this card is destroyed. In another scenario, we can attack with a different card. Using the strike ability, we're going to deal 1 damage against the target straight ahead. This Covetous Imp has 1 attack and 1 defense. Wolf Pup's 1 attack meets or exceeds this Covetous Imp's defense value, meaning it's destroyed. However, cards are able to defend themselves. If the asset that you're attacking is able to target the attacking card, it deals simultaneous retaliation damage. This is equal to its own attack value. Wolf Pup's 1/1 versus Covetous Imp's 1/1 destroys them both at the same time. Both players destroyed cards, and both players gain trophy points. Wolf Pup was only worth 1 point, Covetous Imp is worth 2 points. Destroyed cards are discarded to your archive. To deal life force damage, attack open positions. Shadow Step Assassin can only target 2 creature cards right now. However, your Rune Warden can target straight ahead. If you can pay its cost, which is an action point and activation, you can attack. Instead, if this card were not an imp, but this Pestilent Swarm, it has the guard ability. The guard ability isn't listed, but it's indicated by these blue arrows. If a card is upright and ready, it can activate to guard. These blue guard arrows allow it to defend both of the adjacent positions. So if Rune Warden were to attack this space, Pestilent Swarm could guard and interrupt that attack, redirecting the target to itself. Rune Warden is a 2/4 versus Pestilent Swarm's 1/1, so Pestilent Swarm is destroyed and you earn 2 trophies for it. When you play a card, your opponent has the opportunity to counter or interrupt that card. When you use an action, such as using your strike ability, that also allows your opponent to interrupt you. You can react by deploying one of your own cards, use a non-resource ability, or pass. Resource abilities are typically on your source cards when they give you shards or other resources without targeting something. Your opponent wants to attack you, so it uses this Mischievous Imp. It currently has 0 attack power, but its special skill says that it gains an attack for each imp that it's currently adjacent to. Your opponent activates it to strike your archer, dealing 1 damage. Damage during a turn is cumulative, so you'll place a counter on it until the end of the turn. Dawnpiercer Ranger has 1 attack, however, it can't target the imp because of its ranged targeting. That attack may seem like a waste, but your opponent can attack again using a different creature. Your Ranger has already taken 1 damage, meaning it only has 1 left. This Covetous Imp deals 1 damage to your Ranger, destroying it. There's a few things that you need to do before the end of your turn. Resolve any end of turn effects, any assets that you just play lose their unstable status and can now activate. Make sure your hand meets the minimum of 2 cards or the maximum of 7 by either drawing or discarding. Remove any leftover damage counters and discard them if the card isn't destroyed, and pass the turn to the next player. Once you start playing, you'll get the hang of it. And if you need more help, the Quick Start Guide is a great place to start. And when you're ready to dive deeper, the full rulebook has literally everything you could ever want to know. Good luck out there, and feel free to reach out on Discord if you have any questions. Thanks for playing.